Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. And let me tell you, the Con-Man Benn back in the news for not cooperating. Mr. Con-Man Benn. This guy is getting on my nerves. You know, I believe in building champions, not breaking them down. But he's just out there in left field. And let me tell you, they need to go ahead and just suspend this guy. He has turned himself into, just like the laughing stock when it comes to the whole boxing community, man. Look, this fool is just not cooperating for obvious reasons, okay? He's not cooperating with this whole investigation as far as him and the failed test. Now, look, I know why he's making things hard when it comes to UKAD. You see, when it comes to what's going on stateside with VADA, the WBC, he's flexing a little bit. He feels confident because right now, unfortunately, he can still fight. But the thing is this, right? He knows when it comes to the British Board of Boxing Control, when it comes to UKAD, they can put it to him to where he can't fight out in the UK. And see, he doesn't want that. So there was an article published out there on BoxingScene.com. And this is the thing. It just proves to you that Con-Man Benn is up to no good, and he knows that he failed those tests, and he knows he's been cheating. Now, when you look at the nutritionist that he had, and you look at the things his own nutritionist said and how his nutritionist deleted his social media accounts, right? That's a telltale sign that maybe there's some funny business going on, especially when the bozo nutritionist comes out in an interview, a documented interview, right? It's out there. Any of you guys can pull it up. The bozo goes and makes light of VADA and UKAD and its testing protocol, and talks about how anyone can skirt the system, and actually goes on to say how dumb an athlete has to be to get caught. He went on to even emphasize, and he stated pretty emphatically that when it comes to these athletes, they know when these test takers from VADA, or the inspectors, right, from VADA, from UKAD, whatever the agency is, when they come to test you, it's normally during a certain period of time. Outside of that window, athletes can take certain illegal substances that will be out of their system by the time those inspectors or investigators come back the next day to administer the testing. So that blew my mind. So when you look at the fact that Con-Man Benn isn't really cooperating, it's because when you have someone like that on your team who will come out and openly state, right? And remember, he emphatically stated you'd have to be stupid to get caught. Well, I guess Con-Man Benn was stupid because he got caught. And that could be a reason why the A and B samples, he failed them both. And he is now looking to prolong the investigation out there with UKAD as long as he possibly can, because he kind of backed in the corner, and I just don't think he's going to be able to get out of this situation. So Con-Man Benn apparently, like I said, he just hasn't been forthcoming to one investigation as he's been to another regarding his 2 failed drug tests. In December, we all know Con-Man Benn, he had his attorney submit a 270-page report to the WBC in an apparent bid to get the sanctioning body to reinstate him to the welterweight rankings. Now, he fell out of several sanctioning bodies' rankings, even in the WBO. They gave him the boot, which they should have. You come out here failing ped tests, he's lucky to still be floating around here and for his name to be bubbling as a possible return to the ring between now and June. Anyway, the body, the WBC, conducting their own investigation, right? They removed him from the standings when they revealed about the clomiphene. Now, for those of you who are saying if for some reason you're not familiar with what clomiphene is, right? It's a fertility drug, right? That's why there's been so many memes about Con-Man Benn being pregnant, having a period, about him lactating, all kind of stuff, trying to have triplets, but all kind of, funny stuff that people have come up with about him. But the thing about clomiphene is it can boost testosterone in males, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700%. Okay? It has a different effect on everyone. But the bottom line is it boosts your testosterone levels, which can give you an unfair advantage when you go into boxing ring, MMA ring, etc. Now, it was my first time learning about clomiphene, so I didn't quite understand it. But once you just go out there to the lovely world of the internet, you can type in clomiphene and athletes, and boom, it'll bring right up some names. One of the more probably familiar names is Brock Lesnar, how he was taking clomiphene when he was fighting over in the UFC. He was fighting Mark Hunt. He failed 2 tests, and he got himself in some trouble. Now, the thing is this, right? There are a lot of athletes that take these different tests, and a lot of these athletes fail, and some of them don't get caught. Some people still seem to be surprised that Con-Man Benn's name is mixed up with, failing a drug test. I put it to you this way, right? When it comes to just combat sports, boxing, and MMA, there's one name I think everyone recognizes, especially for what the person did when he was fighting in the UFC and what he's kind of done at the end of his UFC career and kind of doing in boxing right now. That's Anderson Silva. Now, Anderson Silva, if you didn't know, he failed twice for anabolic steroids. He was actually fighting, he fought Nick Diaz. He had that overturned. He received a 1-year suspension and a $385,000 fine. Now, in my opinion, they need to just go ahead and slap something like that on Con-Man Benn so this man can actually get some kind of structure to his life. He can stop with the stupid videos and stop complicating things and kind of holding up these investigations. But the thing with Anderson Silva is, like, Ben is just saying he's innocent and the science will prove he's innocent. He's talking too much. Anderson Silva, he kind of talked a little bit too much himself, but he was saying that he got some kind of Viagra, some kind of sexual pill from a friend who brought it from Thailand, and how he was taking that, and basically he's just a freak, and that's why there was these substances found in his system, which was all BS. So Anderson Silva is trying to take something, man, to improve the performance of his bozo. So it is what it is. At least with Con-Man Benn, that's not what we're dealing with. Con-Man Benn is saying that he was eating a whole bunch of eggs. And because he ate a lot of eggs, hey, listen, I'm not making this up, man. You got Anderson Silva talking about taking some pill from Thailand to help with his bozo, the performance of his bozo. Then you get Con-Man Benn, who is a bozo, talking about he ate a whole bunch of damn eggs. I mean, come on, man. You just can't make this up. But anyway, when it comes to the test that he failed, look, the VADA administered both tests. Ben is also under investigation by the UK anti-doping, which is UKAD, and the British Boxing Board of Control. Now, their findings could determine whether or not Ben faces a ban out there in the UK. And that's why he is complicating things when it comes to the investigation. He doesn't want to cooperate because he knows they're going to ban him. And in my opinion, if you're going to cheat in boxing, especially with what Con-Man Benn was trying to do, especially that bum Eddie Hearn, man, you know what? I used to like Eddie Hearn, man. Witty, he's funny, pretty good. He's a good promoter, but I just don't. I really don't like him. And, I hate to make such a strong statement because that's not my character, but the fact that they were trying to bring Eubank Jr. down to 157, right? And knowing that Con-Man Benn had this clomiphene in his system, and he was, going to come in at, I think, a more healthier weight for him. and then he's going to come in with an unfair advantage. That's just, you look at what happened with Eubank Jr. this past weekend. Fighting at 160. Obviously, that's just, you got to give Liam Smith some credit, but fighting at 160 obviously just isn't the sweet spot for Eubank Jr. Imagine him coming down to 157 and unknowingly getting in the ring with somebody who's pumped up on this substance that's going to give him this freakish power. And what could have possibly happened. And then for Conor Benn to still come out here doing videos with his dad and kind of bragging about what he would have done to Eubank Jr., it's just disgusting. But the bottom line is this, right? According to the report by the Daily Mail, it's a newspaper out in the UK, Ben has not submitted the same 270-page report to UKAD. So why would you submit a 270-page report to VADA and then submit a different report to UKAD? And my thing is this, right? If UKAD is saying this is leading to a snag in their investigation, when I hear something phrased like that, that sounds like Eddie Hearn, man. Yeah, we got a little bit of a snag in the investigation. That's like, those are words you'd hear from Eddie Hearn, which to me, a bullcrap flag needs to be thrown. And also, if UKAD feels they received a different report, or they're saying they got a different report than what VADA received, they got some people over there getting paid pretty big money. Get the report from VADA, take the report from UKAD, have one of those guys who are getting paid really handsomely, take a fine-tooth comb and go through that 270-page report, identify the inconsistencies, and then turn your foot sideways, right? And then shoot for Conor Benn's butt. Not the left side, not the right side, but right for the hole. And make sure it goes in and get this man a 1, 2, 3 year suspension, $1 million fine, and make sure that he's real miserable. Because when the boot goes in the hole, kind of wiggle it around a little bit, right? Because that's what this guy needs for him to get the picture that what he did was foul. And actually, if you shoot and miss, at least make sure Eddie Hearn is standing near to where the boot misses Ben, it hits Eddie Hearn. Not on the left side, not on the right side, but right in the middle. And that's how I feel. You got Conor Benn coming out here repeatedly mentioning the WBC investigation on social media, urging the WBC, hurry up on your investigation. You need to hurry up. Science is going to prove that I'm innocent. I need to know what's going on. I want to get on with my career. The WBC, they're going to be the ones to vindicate me. I mean, come on, man. Talking about science, that's going to help him. That science is the one that got him put in this situation. Science is the one that identified him as cheating on taking these pads and failing tests and looking to cheat going into a fight. Ben's line of argument may be based on a contamination angle. Look, that can happen, but not for 2 tests. Come on, man. It's just really frustrating, man. I don't know how many chicken eggs you'd have to take and how that could lead to the trace a clomiphene in someone's body. But I just find it hard to believe, right? Conor Benn says he's been through hell and back. Thank God for science. The evidence doesn't lie. No holes in the truth. And then Eddie Hearn is right there, as always, repeatedly insisting that Ben should be allowed to fight and is allowed to fight, and that he's guarantees he'll be back in the ring in the next 6 months, because Eddie Hearn and his dad and the whole matchroom, they still have some pull, they have some influence out there, and we all know Eddie Hearn will do shady business, and I'm sure there are other people out there who are more than willing to have, like, Eddie Hearn's known for showing up with a mystery briefcase when he wants to get something done. Where Eddie Hearn will show up with the mystery briefcase and make sure the right people get paid off to allow this bozo, Conor Benn, to continue fighting. The thing is this, anyone who's going to fight him, they need to make sure that they're on top of their game. They need to make sure the right testing's in place. Because I tell you what, if a person will steal once, they'll steal again. If they'll cheat once, they'll cheat again. And I am sure Con-Man Benn has been cheating for quite some time. Now, I don't have any proof of that. I'm just looking at the way when he fought Samuel Vargas, right? What he was able to do to him that no one else did. Just within the first round. That caught my attention, but I didn't think much of it. But it's what he did to Chris Algieri. I said, Chris Algieri banged up a little bit by Providnikov. Earl Spence kind of banged him up a little bit. Pacquiao kind of banged him up a little bit, right? Algieri, bit of inactivity. But, he's not someone who you can just hit with one shot and knock him out cold. And to see what Con-Man Benn was able to do to him. And Algieri came out and said he heard that Con-Man Benn may have been on pads, but he took the fight anyway, which was dumb on his part. And then to see all of this kind of play out and what's kind of, come to fruition about Con-Man Benn and being a drug cheat. It's almost like the whole thing with Margarito and, and the glove scan, the hand wraps and everything, and looking at Kermit Centrone, kind of having an idea that maybe Margarito may be up to some kind of funny business, but not really, not knowing for sure. And then for Kermit Centrone to sit back and see Margarito get caught for cheating against Cotto and then trying it against Mosley. And, the whole thing is just crazy. But that's why when it comes to Con-Man Benn, I definitely feel that he's trying to hold up the investigation out there with UKAD, because they're the ones that can really make him miserable. And I honestly feel, just like Anderson Silva and these other guys in these other combat sports, and even here in boxing, man, in boxing, we've had fighters over here who were doing things, man, cheating. Remember Mosley taking EPO, you know what I'm saying? It's it's not uncommon for guys to cheat. You got Canelo, you got Tyson Fury, and you got a lot of guys out here cheating, man. Some people get caught, some people don't. But for Con-Man Benn and what he tried to do, that is just a foul that he needs to be handled, in my opinion. But that being said, more to come on Con-Man Benn, what's going to happen. But if he doesn't get some kind of suspension, I think that's foul. Matter of fact, I think he's kind of up there with Gerald Miller and what Gerald Miller tried to do to Anthony Joshua. Failing all those damn tests with all those different drugs inside of him. That's absolutely crazy. But Con-Man Benn, the fact that he's still posting things on social media, still taking little jabs at Eubank Jr. You know what I'm saying? For that alone, they should ban his ass. But anyway, more to come on this guy and Eddie Hearn and if they're going to let him fight or not. But I have a feeling UKAD is going to give him the business. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.